All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. You'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody's doing well today on this beautiful Tuesday. As always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper, let's take lots of notes. Let's make sure that we participate and engage. And we want to make sure we start our day off by taking massive action. And that action stands for accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome, sending yourself, body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading, trust in your education, strategy, trade skills, and intuition. Imagine your trade successfully materializing, obeying your trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. All right. So if everybody can hear me okay, drop me one in the chat and we will get things moving. All right. Perfect. Appreciate it. All right. So we will glad to be back. Glad to be back. Had a good vacation. Enjoyed celebrating the birthday with my sister and my aunt. We had a great time as a family. Um, so glad to be back, getting caught up on things. Um, so we will dive into the fundamental side first, take a look at what's happening on the tariff front and the back and forth that it's causing in the market. And then we'll dive into the charts and just get an update on where the stock market is, where our commodities are, and we'll dive into some currencies as well. All right. So without further ado, let's get to it. Like I said, it's all about tariffs today. That's going to be the conversation you hear across the board. What they mean, how long will they be, will they stay at this rate, all these deals. So we'll start on the euro side though. Major European stocks were in the red, with the stocks 50 dropping to around 1.5%, and the stock 600 falling 0.9%. Broad risk off sentiment prevailed as new U.S. tariffs on Canada and Mexico and China came into effect, heightening global trade tension. Right, in response, Canada and China announced retaliatory measures. Meanwhile, defense stocks extended their gains after President Trump halted all military aid to Ukraine. All right. So you got defense stocks still on the rise, and they will probably continue to be on the rise um, during this presidency. Brent oil, right? Oil, crude oil futures fell to $70 a barrel on Tuesday, nearing a 4-month low as concerns grew over OPEC Plus's decision to proceed with a planned output increase in April. Um, the group, which includes OPEC and allies like Ukraine, will raise production by 138,000 barrels per day, the first increase since 2022. Additionally, U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to pause military aid to Ukraine following tensions with Ukrainian President Zelensky raised hopes for a potential easing of the conflict. That's interesting, right? This could lead to sanction relief for Russia, increase in global oil supply. The market also braced for new U.S. tariffs on imports from Canada, Mexico, and China, which analysts believe could dampen global economic growth and oil demand, further exerting downward pressure on prices. All right. Um, so that's where we are with Brent crude. Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar initially fell to a 1 month low at what $1.45 before recovering around 144 as traders assess escalating trade tensions. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that Canada would immediately impose 25% tariffs on 30 billion worth of U.S. imports. He had previously indicated that the measures would target U.S. beer, wine, bourbon, home appliances, and Florida orange juice. Furthermore, he warned that if President Trump's tariffs remain in effect for the next 21 days, Canada could escalate its response by imposing additional tariffs to another 125 billion worth of U.S. products. The move came after Trump reaffirmed his decision to proceed with 25% tariffs on Canada goods, declaring that there was no room left, all right, for Canada to avoid the measures. Meanwhile, Bank of Canada warned that a prolonged tariff war could slash Canadian output by nearly 3% over 2 years and wipe out growth during that period. All right. So this trade war is going to be interesting when it comes to all things globally, right? And domestically when it comes to inflation, okay? And how prices could definitely increase because of said tariffs. All right. So we'll continue to watch that. Um, another soybeans. Soybean futures extended their decline, falling below $10 a barrel, $10 per bushel, to the lowest since January 9th, as China's retaliatory tariffs on U.S. farm goods threaten to disrupt agricultural trade. Donald Trump tariff increased to China goods from 10% to 20%, right? So it doubled those tariffs effective on Tuesday. In response, China imposed hikes on import levies for various American agriculture and food products, including 10% increase on soybean imports, while adding 25 U.S. firms to export and investment restrictions. Meanwhile, Brazil, the soybean harvest for 2024-2025 season reached 50% completion on February 27th, up from 39% the previous week and 48% a year earlier. All right, so not only so China and Canada are retaliating again, right? Which will lead to increased prices. Okay. Um, so that's where we are there. We go over and we take a look at natural gas. Natural gas futures rose 4.1 million BTUs, rebounded from a 2 week low of $3.83 for every 28, driven by record LNG export flows and stronger demand forecasts. LNG exports are rising at the start of March after hitting fresh record 15.6 BCFs in February, uh, boosting boosted by new units at Venture Global's Plaquemines plant. Despite milder weather expected through March 18th, gas demand is lower in the lower 48 is projected to be higher than previously anticipated. Um, so we got additional demand there, right? Pushing prices to the upside a bit, right? Also, stockpiles remain about 12% below the 5-year average due to earlier extreme cold. Meanwhile, gas output hit fresh record at 104.7 BCFD in February, right? So stockpile is low, usage has been up, and we're seeing natural gas start to move back to the upside. Okay. Um, I also want to look at gold. Gold rose to around 2009 10 per ounce on Tuesday as investors assess the impact of Trump administration's newly implemented tariffs uh, on key U.S. trading partners. 25% tariffs on imports went into effect alongside doubling China. China's responded immediately. We read that, right? So this breaks it down, right? China responded immediately with additional tariffs up to 15% on major U.S. farm products effective March 10th. Canada also imposed 25% tariffs on 155 billion worth of U.S. goods. These sparked renewed fears of a global trade war. Already showed signs of rising inflation and slowing economic growth. Factors that support gold status as a hedge against inflation and economic stability. In addition, U.S. factory activity showed signs of slowing, raising concerns that U.S. tariffs could undermine an already cooling economy. Right? Investors are now waiting ADP employment report on Wednesday and the non-farm payrolls report on Friday for clues on the Federal Reserve's path. Right? So watch gold for that hedge on inflation as things really start to settle in there. Okay. Um, mm, 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 something. Yeah, so that's cool there. Over to the calendar update here. All right. So yesterday, tons of PMI coming out of the Eurozone. Um, tons of PMI coming out of the Eurozone. Let's see. I know Benny posted a lot of this in the community. All right. PMIs are above expectation, pretty much across the board. Euro CPI came in above expectation, right? Core inflation measure there. Then manufacturing PMI for the United States came in almost in line. Then we had, let's keep going down. There's a lot of PMI data yesterday. So for today, we have really for red folder GDP for Australia coming in this evening. I also thought I heard State of the Union address will be today. Let me double check that. Let's see. Yes, so Donald Trump will be speaking this evening, State of the Union. Appreciate that, Benito. So expect more on tariffs and his pro-US, pro-American agenda. Okay, so that could definitely have an impact on the market across. Oh, there it goes right there, 9 o'clock p.m. this evening. Okay, you got Governor Ueda also speaking at 7:30. That'll be interesting to see what Governor Ueda has to say regarding the Japanese economy. Um, Tomorrow we have ADP non-farm employment change. We got monetary policy report coming out of the UK. Final services PMI for the dollar. Item services PMI for the dollar. Crude oil inventories. Governor Orr speaks. And then on Thursday, we have Euro Summit. What is this? State and European Union countries are due to discuss military financial aid for Ukraine, strengthening the European Union's defense and global strategy. All right. So that'll be interesting as that Euro Summit kicks off to see what their stance is from a region perspective. Then you have cash rate monetary policy statement for the euro at 8:15 a.m. on Thursday. See what they decide to do, expecting cuts based on the numbers coming out of the eurozone. Then we have press conference at 8:45. PMI for the Canadian dollar on Thursday as well. Tons of central bank speakers throughout the day on Thursday. And then on Friday, we got our regular run of the mill data coming out here. Average hourly earnings, non-farm payroll, employment change, unemployment rate for Canada. Then you got more central bank speakers coming to the microphone along with Chairman Powell on Friday as well. Okay. And then CPI to China. So a busy week, more in the second half. So we'll watch that volatility pick up after Donald Trump speaks this evening and then into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right. So that's where we are from a fundamental front. Do we have any questions or anything else that you guys have read that you want to put on the table? No? All right. Cool deal. Let's hop over to the charts. Ba, 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 ba. Dollar down. Okay. Dollar is down with the back and forth happening. Um, we're moving into more of a risk off sentiment. Um, but the market really doesn't know what to do yet, right? So you got all things down. You got the stochastic coming into the sell zone here on the DXY. Price is pressing down back to this daily support level. Um, so this is going to be interesting to see how things play out over time with the tariffs, right? You got a lot of talk back and forth um, regarding them being a negotiating tool, and they won't stay for an extended period of time. Um, but then you have some thinking that they could stay. So it'll be interesting to see as the economy is impacted by these tariffs, what ends up happening. Does Donald Trump, as he did in 2018, kind of back off of his narrative a little bit? Or does he stay full pedal to the metal with this agenda? Okay. But with the DXY, we're coming back into this daily support that we took off from previously. We'll see if that level is able to hold or if we continue to push lower. Okay. So that's on the daily. Come down to the four. See this area a little bit better here, right? That's where we are. Stochastic in the buy zone on the 4 hour time frame, though, right? So we got a mismatch there. So we could see ultimately we could see some consolidation back and forth here in this range, maybe even pressing lower. I don't see 104 being out of the question. But we'll watch and see, and we'll reassess if we break this 106 level. Okay. So that is the DXY moving down. Okay. So we come to the Canadian dollar or the dollar CAD, sorry, right? We had a nice push down to 50% retracement level and then beautiful move back up to the D extension. Now we're resetting. Okay. Now we're resetting. Beautiful takeoff. Here's our pullback. We're coming into this, and this is on a 1 hour time frame. Right? Just shy of 786 retracement level here. We'll see if this holds in this cloud, right? As stochastic on the 1 hours in the buy zone. We'll walk back to the four and look at this move overall. We came into the 382. Okay. Came into that 382. Now we're making a move back down. Stochastic still trying to move to the upside. So we could get this pullback here and then see a continuation to the upside here in this dollar CAD. Okay. As we walk back to the daily, look at it from a broader perspective. We hit that 382 mark, right? And you see where we are. Been a strong move to the upside, so a pullback and a continuation wouldn't be out of the question. You got stochastic in the sell zone on the daily time frame. So we'll watch and see if we get a swing high to form there, right? This previous resistance, this red line, we came and tapped that. We're bullish ahead or bearish ahead on the cloud, right? So retracement wouldn't be out of the question. We'll see how deep that retracement comes before we turn back over and press back to the upside. Okay. So potentially more downward pressure coming overall before we get price to turn over and press long. Okay, so that is your dollar CAD, and I'll walk backwards on that one. But Questions on the dollar CAD? No? Okay. I want to go take a look at oil, natural gas, and our indices as well, so we can monitor those as the market goes. But previously, we had talked about oil pressing down to these lower levels, right? We broke that $70 mark. We retested that $70 mark. Now we're pressing down. I'm watching the $66 level. Okay. Stochastic still in the buy zone here, right? So I got my eyes on this $66 level. See if that level is able to hold with all things going on. See if OPEC follows through with their deals. Um, and then see what happens in Russia. Okay. But $66 is where my eyes are, and we'll see if we can hold this same support level as previous. Okay. So that's on the daily. Down to the 4. Shallow retracement pushing down into that 118, 127 zone. All right. As we previously discussed. So 80-20 opportunity here if we're able to hold here at the $66 level. Okay. Um, So we'll continue to monitor this as price moves, but we could be setting up for a nice 80-20 on the 4-hour time frame. Coming down to 1, the D extension was achieved. Okay. I'll get a reset at some point. Could be here if this candle closes, which it may not. At 7 minutes and we're pressing down. So we could just continue running down to that level before we get a reset on the 1-hour time frame on oil. All right. So I'm watching this one off the daily and the 4-hour. Okay. Looking for 80-20 opportunity to move back to the upside there. Okay. Questions on oil? All right. Cool beans. That's oil. Let's take a look at, we'll come back to NVIDIA. Natural gas. So from a daily time frame perspective, we got a nice retracement here. Okay. Came just shy of that 50% retracement level, right? I would have liked to see it come lower, but we came back to previous resistance, right? Past resistance on the 4-hour. You'll see that, but it was also support here, right? Previous resistance, future support, strong bullish action. We're pulling back now, stochastic in the buy zone. So we'll see if we get the swing low to form here for price really to start taking off again back to the upside on natural gas. Okay. Um, so like I said, didn't give as deep of a retracement as excuse me. Sorry about that. Didn't give as deep of a retracement as I personally wanted it to, but it was a nice retracement down, which we were expecting, right? And so now looking for a continuation to the upside. Okay. Next level on this daily is the D extension here. As long as we stay inside that 618 range, don't push any deeper, 53, right? And $5.39 is where my eyes are. Okay. So we'll watch this strong bullish action pullback. We'll go down to lower time frames, see if we're able to hold this structure here. All right. And then that continuation to the upside. So down on the 4, zoom out. Need to mark this area so I don't have to do this every time. There we go. Okay. So we're going to look at 2 areas here. All right. So here on the 4, right, we got an 8-6 retracement. 8-6 retracement stayed inside that AB boundary. Matching extension is here. Okay. Um, which there should be a new fib. That's interesting. That should be a new fib. But we hit that, we pulled back. Okay. So let's look at this move here. Boom. Right. There's your new fib that should be in place, just shy of a 50% retracement there also. Okay. Um, so we're moving, right? Strong action. We'll look for a pullback. So that's stochastic in the sell zone. Look for a nice retracement and then a continuation to the upside. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for on the 4. Come down to the 1. We'll see that a little bit more clearly here. I'll pull this off and I'll run that fib off the low. Right. There was your 80-20 there on the 1. Beautiful 618 retracement. There's your trend line break. Okay. There was your trend line break. Now we look for a pullback and a continuation. All right. Boom. So now, right, if you want to go down to lower time frames, you can take a look at it, watch for that pullback, right? But we're looking at boom. So see price come back into the zone, 618,786 level. You had a nice cloud break here as well, right? So all those things adding together, cloud break, trend line break. Now we'll look for a pullback back into the zone like that, and then continue making those ABCD waves to the upside. Okay. Questions? Questions on oil? Still got a bullish outlook. No? Okay. Full deal. Let's look at gold. On a 1 hour time frame, turn over and continue to press long. Clean some of this up for a minute. There we are, right? Headed to the upside still. Okay. Still headed long. It's crazy, right? We didn't even come back and fully retest that level that we broke through yet. So we could potentially come back lower again. But you see the stochastic on the daily diving down into that buy zone. Okay. Diving down into that buy zone. So we're continuing to rumble north, right? And looks like we're going to have another swing low to form here. So headed to the upside, and not surprising, right? With the expectation of inflation continue to move to the upside as well, right? Gold being that hedge. Okay. So coming down to the 4, we'll rerun these. All right, we're in this 80-20 zone on the 4. So we'll watch and see what happens here if we're able to break back above and continue moving moving to the upside here. Or do we get that move down first? So casting in the sell zone on the 4. So mismatch here. Let's see how this plays out. Let's see how things move today. Um, if we break this high, obviously I'm looking for price to continue moving long without the retracement. But if we stay below this level, let's watch for this 80-20 to play out. Stay below 29.56. Okay. So let's watch and see how things transpire over the next day or so. And then with non-farm payroll coming on Friday, could also give us some insight um, into Fed decisions and that which will add into the sentiment overall. And if market participants move more into safer territory, hedge against that inflation. So we'll watch and see how the week evolves. Okay. So that's on the 4, coming down to the 1. Took that out. There's our active fib on the 1. We're still inside the AB boundary. So do we turn over and stay inside, or do we take out the A? Okay. So that's my question there. We got back and forth on the 3 time frames. So we'll watch and see how things evolves. This was a beautiful 80-20 last week. And it was great. So now we'll watch and see as we're sitting at these high prices, right? What happens here on the 1 hour time frame? Okay. Um, with the uncertainty and the tariffs and all that's happening right now, are obviously just watching the market. Okay. Because things are all over the place, and the more Donald Trump talks, the more interesting things get from a market perspective. Okay. So continue to be patient on some of these, right? Um, add in your additional confirmation points, and be very, very picky on your moves, right? Um, so that's where we are on gold. Play the cloud break, beautiful. That was a nice little grab on that. Good job, Joy. Great work. Great work. Got some sevens for Joy. Played the cloud break and closed out once you got into the sweet spot. Nice work. Nice work. All right. So be picky. Be picky. Okay. So that's that. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. All right, continue to move down. We've been expecting these retracements to come in the market, right? Price has been high, been sitting up here in the zone. We've been waiting for it, and now we're getting that move. So now we're sitting at this trend line, uh, looking to see what happens, right? We got to this 382 level here with this push. Let me see, 57.87. No, we did not. So we still haven't gotten to a 382 yet. Okay. So more downward pressure likely coming. You do, however, have stochastic in the buy zone, right? So if we break this trend line, and head to 56.97, right? We'll, we'll start looking for exhaustion. Okay. And we got that 382 here. So we did get a 382, but weren't able to break out. So this is our zone. There's our consolidation zone, right? Do we play the bottom of the range, push back to the top, or do we break out of this and get to this 56.97, 56.84 range? Okay. I'd love to see this low price. Excuse me. I'd love to see this low price at 50%. Um, from a buying perspective, right? Being able to catch some low prices on these and ride them back to the upside, right? Um, historically, right, after large sell-offs in the market, you see crazy reversals. So we want to be patient, make sure we have capital available, right, as we start to get to these low prices. Okay, so be patient, be patient, be patient, and allow this to continue doing its thing. Okay. Um, and then as it meets our rules, or if we dollar cost average in, right, being able to take advantage of these moves as they prepare to turn around and get to these higher levels, 6,400, 7,000. Um, so let's continue to watch this. Okay. Definitely some opportunity here, especially if price pushes down to this 56.97 level. Okay. Coming down to the 4. See it just a little more closely here. and all the back and forth that we have. Okay. So just range bound on the 4. If we run this off the top, fresh AB boundary, D extension is right in that zone. Okay. D extension is right in that zone. So we want to see stochastic still pressing down here on the 4. Like I said, I would love to see these low prices here coming at that 50% level. Okay. Um, would love to see that. So we'll watch and see what Donald Trump has to say and if that continues to push the market down. Okay. So that's on the 4 coming down to your 1. Same story, right? D extension on the 1 in the zone as well. Okay. So we'll continue to watch this one. Watch that 56.97 level. All right. That's what I want to see. Questions on the S&P 500? No. All right. Coming down, coming down, coming down. Boom. Okay. That's what we wanted. Take that out. Boom. Right. 618 retracement is here. Okay. 618 retracement is there. Stochastic is in the buy zone. Let's see what happens as we get here. Okay. Let's see what happens as we get here. But pressing down just like the rest. Come down to the 4. Took out the A. So we're going to reverse this and watch the move down. See if we get a nice setup here. 618 retracement, matching the extension in line with that 618 retracement on the daily. All right. So let's watch this 19,785 level. All right. We got some confluence there. Let's watch this continuation down. On the news, it'll be panic. Oh, the market is going crazy. And we're waiting for it to move right into our sweet spot. Okay. So that's the 4. And then we'll look for a reversal, moving back to the upside. To the 1. Boom. 1 hour D extension, right in line with that level as well. All right. So watch for 19,785. Watch for that level, and we'll look for reversals out. Okay. That's where we are there. Questions on the NASDAQ? No? All right. Cool deal. Um, what's the 2000? Russell down. Okay. Taking these out, cleaning all this up. But we're headed down. Headed down. The extension on the sub-fib is here just inside that AB boundary, right? We're headed to the downside. This number might not be completely out of range. 1981. So we'll watch that and see. We'll watch and see how deep we push, right? If we have to stand to the AB boundary. That stochastic is still in that buy zone there on the daily, right? So we could hit that D extension and pause, consolidate there, and then potentially get a reversal. So let's watch and see how things go. Coming down to the 4, headed to the D extension. We'll be there shortly, right? Go back to the daily. I want to watch that level as we move through the time frames. Okay. Excuse me. So the extension on the 4, right? Inside that AB boundary. Okay. Inside that AB boundary. So that works, right? We'll see if we're able to settle in there, stay inside that AB boundary for a reversal. Okay. So that's on your 4, down on your 1. Also inside that AB boundary, right? You got a 50% retracement, right? Headed to the D extension. We'll see if we're able to get some consolidation in this range and get a swing low to form. Okay. So that's your Russell. Waiting on those D extensions to be achieved and then see if we get reversals, but a little bit more downward pressure to go. All right. Questions here? Oh, all right. Cool deal. Let's slide over. Let's check in on this pound NZD. It's rolling. Pound NZD is rolling, right? When we've been watching, waiting for it to take off. 50% retracement. We watched that back and forth consolidation there. We broke out, came back, retested, and now we're headed to the upside, right? So we've been waiting for that one to continue its move, and it's doing so in a beautiful way, right? So we got a nice break of this resistance level here. Excuse me. And we're headed north. Sub 50 extension achieved. We'll come down to the 4, right? We're tracking this D extension at $2.32. Okay. This is our level. Boom. All right. So we are definitely on the move to the upside. Make sure I don't have a larger fib there. 618. So that D extension was achieved. Pull back. Okay. So this is where we are here. Go smaller out. 80-20 here on your 4. All right. Strong move to the upside. Now looking for a pullback in the continuation. Strong move, 80-20. Shallow retracement, 118, 127. Let's look for the pullback. All right. I'm not playing the retracements on these. I'm looking for low prices. Personally. Just me personally. Right. Love to see price come back. Previous resistance, serve as future support, right? Come back, retest that cloud. I'd love to come back to the 618 range. And then looking for that continuation long. All right. But that 80-20 is right there. The 80-20 is right there. Good morning, Deb. 80-20 is right there for you. Okay. So that's on your 4. Coming down to your 1. I'll run that fib off the low. Fresh AB boundary. Okay. Fresh AB boundary. And we're in that retracement phase. So don't be surprised if the A gets taken out of the 80-20 on the 4. Okay. So we're looking for a low price to then get back long. Okay, so we're going to track this off the 4 hour time frame. All right, watch that 80-20 there play out. Okay. So let's look for that action. And then we look for a move back to the upside. Questions on the pound NZD? I don't have a lot of currency positions open right now, but this is one of them that I am sitting in and been sitting in for a while on that move to the upside off the daily. So I plan on holding this until we get to that daily D extension. Okay, so that's where we are. Questions? No questions. Cool. Cool. Um, look at a couple of these yens and we will wrap things up. And this one is still bouncing, right? Still bouncing back and forth. But still sitting in the zone, right? Not able to break out either direction. 786 retracement. Tried to move up, right? Previous resistance held us there. We pulled back down, not able to break back below support level. Okay. Yesterday got interesting. Got to move up. Now we're moving back down, right? So you see just the back and forth and the volatility in the market with the rhetoric from Donald Trump. We'll see what Governor Rada has to say later on this evening. Um, but just back and forth, just back and forth. So we'll continue to watch. I'm not in any yen plays right now. I do think we still have upside to go, but things are all over the place. So I'm being patient. I'm sitting and watching. Okay, we come down to the 4 here. All right, and you see we tried to take off here yesterday. We came right back into the zone. So we got an 8-6 retracement overall. Matching extension is here at 193. Okay. Stochastic pushing down into that buy zone. Let me go back. You see moving out of the buy zone here in the stochastic, right? Um, so we got a back and forth, trying to move to the upside, but not really ready yet, right? So we'll see once the stochastic pushes down, we'll see if that momentum shifts. But right, we're in the sweet spot, just hovering sideways, try to break out. We're pulling back now. Let's see if we get price to hold and reverse and continue that move to the upside, getting us here. Okay. Target 193, 645. If we get there, that's our signal or my signal that this is ready to continue that trek to the upside that we've been waiting on, right? Getting us back into this 200 range. Okay. But continuing to sit tight. Continuing to sit tight. Come down to your 1. And this is your larger fib here on the 1. I said a lot of back and forth going on. But overall bias on the yens is still the same, just waiting patiently for things to figure themselves out. Okay. But sitting tight there. Right. Sitting tight there. So that's the pound yen. Any questions here? No. All right. Benny, good morning, bro.
Ryan, good morning, everybody. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh man, doing pretty good.
Awesome, awesome. I know you had a busy morning already, man.
Yep, yep.
Anything top of mind for you, bro?
Oh man, just tariff. That's all. That's all. Just paying attention to the tariff situation and see how that's gonna shake out.
Yeah.
Saw the markets take a dip yesterday. I'm interested to see what happens today. You know,
Yeah.
uh, to see, who was out there holding out hope to see if it was gonna happen or not. You know, uh, that's what I'm looking for now. But that's it, man. That's the, sometimes it's simple. Whatever's making the most headlines, that's what's going to impact the market. right? So that's it. That's the major headlines are these Trump tariffs. I know. I think it's insane. We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, yeah. You had Canada come back with their response to those. Um, and they said that they would if the tariffs last 21 days, they'll add more to their response.
Right.
155 billion worth in
Yeah.
different sectors. So it'll be interesting to see. And China also came back with the response as well. So
Yeah. I just, I don't know. You know, to do that with your allies, I don't know. I don't know where it goes. But I guess we're gonna
mhm,
find out now because we are here. We're at this moment, and so we'll see what happens.
we shall see what happens, bro. We shall see what happens for sure. Cool beans. I appreciate you, man. You got any we looked at the indices, we looked at some of the commodities. You got any charts that your eyes are on just from a monitoring perspective?
There's that couple of them here take part. We had the coming out of the weekend. We got the higher time frame move on the euro dollar that we're calling short, but there was a shorter term 80-20 on the 1 hour that hit take profit on the euro dollar. I think it was it the cat yen? One of them there was an 80-20 there too, but I think it hit. But that 1 hour euro dollar came in and hit take profit to the upside. So
Perfect. Okay.
yeah, but that's it.
I will say
That's
that
it.
there too.
Yeah.
Looking at this move here,
Yeah.
that move there to the upside. Yep, yep, yep. Beautiful, beautiful. And that larger fib is also making its way.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So like I said, we'll see what happens when the markets open today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cool deal. Team, you guys got any questions? Was announced around 10 midnight. Yeah, it was later in the evening yesterday, I believe, Joy. Team, you guys got any questions on anything before we wrap it up? Nope. Nope. Cool deal. Any last minute thoughts, bro?
No, that's it. That's I don't know. Let's see what happened with market flows, man.
Yep.
It's been a mess. You can see technically that the market's trying to figure it all out.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's my sentiment too, man. So let's cover the bases and now I just want to watch and see what the response is. All right, good people. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. You guys have a phenomenal, phenomenal Tuesday. We'll see you in the morning. See you in the community. Check in, tap into the accountability group if you are able, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're doing some phenomenal work as I've been watching some of the replays. Um, some phenomenal work, some phenomenal conversations happening in the accountability group inside of the community. So if you have time, definitely tap in 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, we'll see you in the morning. Peace.